minutes. So she called the EMS, paramedics came, and yeah, that's how I ended up in the hospital. And that's when I basically got the doctor explained to us that my heart would stop for over 10 seconds at a time, and that if it kept going on, there was a possibility that during one of those events my heart could just not restart, so it could stop and just not come back, and I could just drop dead basically at any given moment, any given second, any given day, no matter what I did. And the worst parts, even after everything she basically said that I could just die at any given moment, she sent me home and basically told me to forget that it happened and to go get a good night's rest. And the only thing she actually scheduled was an appointment with one of their cardiologists for the hospital in 4 months time. So this was January, so it would have been around like March, April, around there, which was ridiculous because she had just said that I could die and she was giving me an appointment in 4 months. And that we left the city we were in because we were actually visiting the city, and we went back to my hometown, and I felt fine for the next couple of weeks. I was starting to get a little bit anxious just because of the fact that, like I said, she explained that I could drop dead at any given moment, so that was starting to get to me. So I slowly stopped exercising and everything. So yeah, I stopped exercising, and I started being afraid of just being by myself for too long. Sounds ridiculous, but that was like my worst fear, just dying and not being near somebody that could see me pass out or whatnot. So yeah, and so, well, my mom was able to actually find a doctor who could see me in the next couple weeks. And so we started with his plan. I got checked with all the different types of tests, all the whole workup, and basically everything was fine. So talking about echocardiograms, which is just like an ultrasound of your heart. What else? Holters, stress test, which is like how your heart reacts during exercise. And yeah, so all that kind of stuff. And then everything was fine. So the doctor told us that the one last test that he would like to run, just to be extra sure, was an extended Holter. So a Holter's like, imagine like an Apple Watch that's reading your heart every 5 minutes, only that this reads your heart every single beat throughout every single day. So every single beat, so that's over 100,000 beats, a million beats, whatever. So it picks up every single beat, and it can pick up arrhythmia, so irregular heartbeats, pauses, so that kind of stuff. And yeah, but this one was a patch, so it's like a little sticker that you put on your chest, and I could wear it for up to 30 days. So yeah, got done with the patch, and after the 30 days, I just had to send it through mail. And around this time is when in Texas the whole blizzard storm thing happened. So basically mail shut down for over 2 weeks, so the mail got postponed while the storm was going through Texas. So yeah, it took a while to get to actually be able to even send it. So it got postponed, and then once everything was open again, the mail was the last thing to open. So finally the mail opened, we were able to send it. And I don't know, probably about a month and a half later, while I was playing basketball, my mom called me and basically said that the doctor's nurse called, and she was basically talking about how the results from the Holter came back and they weren't good. And so she said that the doctor actually recommended that I went to the hospital and got hospitalized overnight, just so that they could monitor me closely. So we did that. And then the next morning, early in the morning, like at 5 a.m., the doctor came in, and he was talking about how he basically explained exactly what happened with the pauses and everything, and basically said that with what was going on, and that I would be a candidate, or that he would recommend a pacemaker, which, in case you don't know, it's what's most commonly used in seniors or just people with damaged hearts. So it's just a box that sends impulses to your heart so that keeps it beating in check, or in case of a pause, for example, it can kick in during a pause. But yeah, getting a pacemaker is actually not a simple thing, because they have to cut a tiny part of your chest open, but they're still cutting in. In my case, they had to put it under the muscle, so they had to pull on my chest just to put it in there. And then it has wires that they open one of your veins that goes down to your heart, and they thread the wire all the way from your vein in your shoulder down to your heart, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, I basically got the pacemaker, and the months after that was terrible, because now I wasn't playing sports, I wasn't even exercising anymore. I stopped going to the gym, and with getting a pacemaker, you have so many restrictions. You can't use your left arm, like you can't even lift it above your shoulder level for over like 10 weeks, which was ridiculous. And then after that, I got scared that I just completely stopped. I got super anxious and just super annoyed, just because I didn't want to have that box in me, and I felt like it limited every single thing that I could do. And so yeah, months went by, and actually my mom at the time, she was super unsettled that I ended up getting the pacemaker. And so she managed to get an appointment with Cleveland Clinic, which is a very good hospital, #1 in the world pretty much for heart stuff. So yeah, she scheduled an appointment for November 24th, 2021. So yeah, she scheduled that appointment. And then as soon as we got there, the first doctor that we met basically explained that I didn't need the pacemaker at all. Like, it was completely useless in my case. There was no real risk of me dying. There was a risk of me having a pause and passing out and dying from like the blackout. Like, let's say I'm walking or something, or going upstairs, or driving, just anything where I can fall and hit my head hard. There's always the risk with that, but the risk wasn't exactly that my heart was going to stop and not come back. And so basically they hooked us up with the best doctor that his specialty was removing pacemakers. And so yeah, so I opted to get the pacemaker removed. So I got extracted, and when was that? November 26th or something like that. So it took about 2 weeks to recover, and that's as soon as I started my fitness journey again. And I'm starting to slowly get a little bit close to where I was at before, mostly basketball wise, because gym, I've been taking it serious my whole life, but I never made a lot of progress because I was still really skinny before this all happened. But basketball is where I completely regressed, because I was in pretty good shape. I was pretty good 3-point shooter and everything and whatnot. And after a year of not playing even once, you can only imagine what happens to your basketball skills. So yeah, regardless of all of this, the main takeaway is that actually the actual reason why this all happened to me, why my heart was just deciding to stop every now and then, it was a mix of things. Most important was I was really underweight for my height. I'm 6'1.5", and I weighed about 136, 135 around there, and I was exercising 3 to 4 hours a day most days of the week. And I'm never done this before, but it was basically just because with the pandemic and the lockdown and everything, and schools being online, I had way more spare time to go to the gym and play basketball. So that's basically what I did, and I eventually picked up jump rope too, and I built up endurance to jump rope for an hour continuously without stopping. So yeah, I did all of that, and I was barely drinking water for all the exercise that I was doing. Like I said, I was under eating by a lot, and then you just mix that with the caffeine that I was taking, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, I highly appreciate it. Might as well drop a sub now that you're here. And yeah, stay tuned with the content that's gonna be coming up in this channel. I'm dedicated to this long term. Whether or not this channel goes anywhere, I'm still gonna upload continuously for the rest of my, at least till I'm 25. I just want to see where I'm at. Since I don't take a lot of pictures personally, I think it's easier for me to track my life through YouTube and see how I progressed through fitness, sports, financially, with relationships, everything. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Have a nice day, y'all. Peace.